Hello and welcome back to another episode of Generation Films. My name is American Ben, aka the man whose hips don't lie, and today I come to bury the widely beloved Xeno, E.T. Not to praise him. No, just kidding. I'm not gonna kill him. Yet. Though originally this was going to be another fun, hyperbolic why the humans are right video, and it still is going to kind of be that actually, but as I was taking notes in preparation for this video, I realized that I have to take a more serious tone here so that I can excavate the deeper ideas that this terrific film conveys. I emphasize terrific because often when I've gone back to watch popular films from my childhood for use as fodder on this channel, it turns out said films kind of suck. But not true for E.T. It's a children's film, but it's a really good one. Still, I am comfortable asserting that the government in the film does nothing wrong, but that doesn't necessarily mean E.T. does much wrong either. Okay, besides invade our planet. That should at least be enough to wake the staff at the nuclear silos. But he's not evil. Well, okay, then again, he doesn't like dogs.
Be right here.
Big red flag there, and again, nuclear silos, just please be on guard. But I digress. What I hope to accomplish today is demonstrate how the government does nothing wrong, and in doing so explore E.T.'s larger ideas, some of which I think have been largely neglected in conversations about the film. Specifically, I think E.T. speaks to the ways in which disparate beings can reach mutual understanding with each other. And the film also conveys how children and adults each play different roles in cultivating the good in society. E.T.'s story may be simple, but the events that take place therein are not. It begins with a spaceship landing under dark in a California forest so that the alien botanists on board can secretly gather specimens, presumably for study back home. Do note, the aliens do not attempt to contact Earth's leaders about their arrival beforehand, let alone ask for permission to visit the planet. Instead, they just trespass and give no explanation for their presence. And so from the very start, they put the US government, which is tracking the situation, on high alert. The agents are in a hard position. Extraterrestrials of unknown origin and intention have entered Earth's atmosphere and landed on its surface. If you ask me, the government acts with restraint. The agents don't lash out due to fear, and I mean, they would be wise to destroy the descending craft before it can attack the Earth. Why don't the aliens announce themselves before entering Earth's territory? Well, perhaps general alien arrogance, but I think more probably their furtive ways are owed to their own fear in the face of a human threat. They're on Earth for an important mission and don't know how the native population of Earth will react if they're discovered. After all, when they're found by government agents, the aliens run from the feds in terror. We all do. Fear plays a prominent role in the film. Fundamentally, it's the fear of alien threats, alien used here to mean anything foreign or unfamiliar, that drives so many of the relationships in the movie and all of the other dynamics they entail. Each of the Taylor children freaks out upon coming to face E.T. for the first time. To be fair, at the time, E.T. is running around the woods, acting like a predator on the hunt. But nonetheless, there is a sincere fear the children and E.T. feel towards each other. However, whereas we might expect adults to act out in violence or anger in response to this sort of fear because the Taylors are kids and not so aware of existential danger, they overcome their fear and engage E.T. with compassion. Are they scared of E.T. deep down? Yes, even after they meet him. However, they don't let their fear consume them. Kids see the world as a magical and friendly place, and this makes them especially good interlocutors for meeting alien visitors at Earth's door. And this is our first chance to highlight how the film helps us to think about the different ways in which kids and adults experience the world, and how such divergent experiences produce different sets of pros and cons. Yeah, sure, the kids are great for being so sweet to the alien that they found in their shed, but it is actually a very powerful creature. E.T. has telekinetic abilities, can raise the dead, can heal things, and can make bicycles fly in futile attempts to get to Neverland. No doubt he could easily kill the children, and so I'm not sure that with open arms is the best way to welcome the creature. On the other hand, E.T. is a minority in a strange society that is probably prone to fear him and approach him with caution. By himself, detached from his comrades, he's weak in this world and needs help from strangers in order to survive. Thus, it's good he runs into the kids first because they have the requisite naivety to hide a powerful psychic alien in their closet. This, of course, probably speaks to the way in which naivety can actually promote tolerance in society. The kids don't care that E.T. is different, that he looks different. Again, he could be dangerous. Seeing something they're unfamiliar with, the adults would infer this danger. But sometimes, you just have to trust people, or aliens, if you want to foster a friendly world.
He won't hurt you, Rudy. I'm not gonna hurt you.
Elliot, of course, doesn't know this for sure. He doesn't know that E.T. won't hurt his little sister, and he could be putting her life in danger here. But this time, and specifically this time, his claim does turn out to be accurate, and his naivety works to cultivate a worthy friendship. That is, until ET2, when the alien comes back with his kill squad and obliterates the Earth. The film actually implies that beyond naivety, there are other ways that widespread tolerance among beings can be attained as well. For instance, language barriers, which complicate communication and distort intentions, can be overcome by certain universal languages, such as sharing, an action that, especially when supplemented by processed sugar, the film suggests even beings from far-off planets can understand. And then, more importantly, there's empathy. Finding ways to identify with the plight of others can help us realize we're not so different from those others at all, even others who come from light years away. We are, after all, bound by the same physical laws. That said, Elliot and E.T. share an especially close bond. You know, a telepathic one. Perhaps, though, E.T. and Elliot are able to connect on a psychic level because they're so similar in the first place. Both of them are lost boys in their own way. Elliot is trying to find his way in life in the shadow of his father abandoning his family and his mother's ensuing despair. He's trying to find and recapture the home he's lost. And E.T. is trying to find the family he's lost so that he can go home. And it's the boys' common search that brings them together. One may even wonder how much of their connection is telepathic and how much is just a matter of them understanding one another.
Elliot thinks it's thoughts.
No, Elliot feels his feelings.
Michael, Elliot's older brother, says Elliot feels E.T.'s feelings. Does that sound like psychic power or just plain empathy? Though there does seem to be a legitimate telepathic connection between the two, and through that connection, Elliot's empathy is cultivated. In his biology class, he and his classmates are about to dissect some frogs without a thought as to the suffering of their meek amphibian victims. However, Elliot's telepathic connection with E.T. causes him to realize the pain he's about to incur on other beings, and he thus erupts in a frantic attempt to free the frogs. A telepathic connection, as a literary device, can be used to symbolize the utmost form of empathy between two or more individuals. And I think that Elliot and E.T. reach this level of compassion for each other. Though, we can aver that they assume this level of empathy while again devaluing the telepathic aspect of their relationship. Perhaps it's simply Elliot's burgeoning kinship with E.T. and not psychic communication that awakens his empathy for the frogs. Either way, they reach a state of absolute empathy, or at least Elliot does, for each other, to the point they're willing to die for each other. Though again, naivety is at play here because as a child, Elliot doesn't understand the meaning of death. However, here's where we pivot once again, because while we've done much to build up the virtue inherent to Elliot's relationship with E.T., we still need to consider the perspective of adults associated with the matter of the alien's presence on Earth. Now that we understand the causal elements that unite alien and human boy, we have the context to ask, are the actions of the government agents in the film wrong? E.T. convinces Elliot to liberate the frogs, yay, but is this beneficial for humanity? What other species would E.T. throw humans under the bus for? More pressingly, what will happen if E.T. successfully calls his fellow aliens back to the planet?
E.T. phone home. And they'll come.
The kids consistently give E.T. the benefit of the doubt and assume his intentions to be pure. But should they let him phone home sans the proper oversight? What if he calls upon his armies to invade the planet? Well, at the very least, the authorities decide, no, Elliot cannot keep the alien in his closet. And as film critic Henry Sheehan posits in a 1992 article about Spielberg's body of work, the government agents and scientists show up on scene in the role of the pirates to extend the Peter Pan metaphor that undergirds the movie. So the pirates come looking for the lost boys. However, does this assertion really reflect a proper analysis of the agent's role in the film? Are they antagonists? Well, in their view, E.T. could be feeding off of Elliot's life force. I don't think we can say for sure that E.T. isn't benefiting from his connection to Elliot more than Elliot is from his connection to E.T. I'm also not sure that E.T. wouldn't sacrifice Elliot's life to save his own. The flowers E.T. earlier in the film resurrects die as E.T. dies. It kind of seems like he might have been going around the planet feeding off of the energy of various organisms. I don't think E.T. is malevolent. I ultimately think that the flowers and Elliot dying in correspondence with E.T.'s demise simply represents the connection all beings have to each other. And if one suffers, all suffer, especially the empathetic among us. Though, for whatever reason, perhaps E.T.'s doing, Elliot's telepathic connection to E.T. diminishes as his alien friend grows weaker. But let's step back a sentence. It's not clear that E.T. isn't up to no good. I mean, I get that the Taylor kids are witness to E.T.'s affability, but what should the government agents think? Well, Elliot says, think that E.T. is great.
Leave him alone, I can take care of him.
Elliot is more scared of the government contingent than he is of E.T. He infers the agents and scientists to be malicious despite the fact that he doesn't know their intentions. To be fair, he's seen what adults do. They don't love every mysterious creature that happens upon them. They dissect frogs for science.
We're gonna have to take him away now.
We're just gonna cut him all up.
I don't know, maybe Elliot is just traumatized by scientists, all that world is burning down speak. But what I think this speaks to is again how kids see the world versus how adults do. There are benefits that can be derived for humanity by dissecting frogs, and probably E.T. too for that matter. Morality is complex in the eyes of an adult, but to a kid, it's clear. Save the froggies. And there's something beautiful, albeit impractical, about that. Thus, I don't think the scientists are pirates. I don't think Spielberg wants us to see them as pirates. But instead, like the pirates from Neverland, perhaps we are supposed to interpret the government agents as imaginary pirates who are born from the fear of children. There are no real pirates, or better yet, no real antagonists in the film. Not in flesh, at least. Fear is the antagonist. The government not only does nothing wrong in the film, they're actually a fairly benevolent force. The scientists try to save E.T., and when he dies, they're compassionate to Elliot and let him spend time with the alien's corpse. Weird. But then there's that whole chase scene, you'll say, when the government agents and police chase the Taylor kids and their friends as they attempt to steal away with the revived E.T. Well, okay, but the kids stole the government's van and dragged a couple scientists in tow. Hard to blame the agents for chasing the kids. The kids also don't notify the scientists or agents that the alien has come back to life. Instead, Elliot assumes their intentions are bad and carries out the aforementioned plot to rescue his extraplanetary friend. I mean, even the police behave. One officer does pull out a shotgun on the approaching posse of runaway kids. There's always that one guy who's gotta swing his weapon around, but even he never motions to fire it. And in the final scene, the authorities do not prevent E.T. from getting on his ship and heading home. The agents and scientists do nothing malicious to the alien or the boy throughout the film, and on the contrary, try to help them. Actually, the scientists are portrayed as caring people with childlike passion for discovery.
I've been wishing for this since I was 10 years old. I don't want him to die. What can we do that we're not already doing?
And in this way, they're made out to be extensions of Elliot's essence. They're Elliots who leave Neverland, find home, and grow up. There are many reviews of E.T. which in some way declare that the movie presents an unusually dark representation of suburbia. And okay, I get it. Broken families, crying mothers, wasted pizza. It's all pretty macabre. However, in the bigger picture, E.T. is optimistic about humanity. And this is what makes the film so refreshingly different and actually important. The adults in the film, namely the government personnel, are for once in a sci-fi narrative involving friendly aliens, not portrayed as nefarious villains. Something we, the audience, can only recognize as adults who've come to understand the complexities of morality, and who have shed the naivety of childhood. E.T. offers us a vision of the human race and neighboring species, all together confronted with difficult conditions like sickness and death, ever-prominent risks to us amidst our fragile existence, as well as with hard choices, such as progress or humanity, and compassion or safety. There are no bad guys in E.T. The humans in the film all do the right thing. The government agents who proceed with caution and ultimately help the alien visitor, and the children who somewhat unwisely welcome E.T. into their home, sans so much as a background check. The right thing is maybe not just one thing. Everybody plays a role in producing a higher product, which we might call the right thing, of which much goes into, from imagination and empathy to practicality and suspicion. Or, I don't know, again, ET2 Bringer of Death might be a really bloody affair. In any case, that's the video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you found it interesting. If you did, please do give it a big thumbs up. Leave a comment down below. Let me know what you think about all of this. Remember to subscribe to our channel and hit that damn notification bell so you don't miss a damn thing. For now, my name is American Ben, and I'll catch you next time. Generation Films, peace.